Hello everyone, welcome to HSC ICT by HSC Dojo powered by Studio T. I am Turjo. Today's chapter is Web Design Basic, which solely deals with HTML. Although this is an academic tutorial, I would rather handle it in a professional way, so you might want to know why. Because this chapter is actually the entry point of web development or web design, you name it. And trust me, this chapter can help you put loads of your family, because right after learning HTML, you can learn CSS, and these two are actually what you need to start your freelancing career as a web designer, or you can even get a job in any IT company. So this tutorial right here is an opportunity for you. So what are the building blocks of any website or web app? First of all, we can actually divide any web app into two very different parts or portions. One is front end and another is back end. First of all, by back end, we understand database and API calls and stuffs that we don't get to see. And by front end, we mean actually anything we see on any particular web page. That means front end is a word that is hugely relating to user experience. That means whenever you or any other user go to any kind of website, whatever you get to see on that particular web page is actually front end. And every front end is made of three different languages, and they are HTML, CSS and JavaScript. And among them, HTML actually gives the structure or the bare bones skeleton of this web page, and CSS deals with the presentation. On the other hand, JavaScript gives the functionality or behavior of that particular web page. So these three very different components work hand in hand to give us a beautiful, well structured and highly functioning web page. So rather than using words, I think I should go ahead and give you a short demo on how these three components work hand in hand to give us a beautiful web page. So first of all, we need to open an HTML file, and the way we do it is we save a file with an extension of HTML. So to accomplish that, let's head on to your terminal. I think I should zoom in so that you guys can see it properly. So in your terminal, let's get onto your desktop, CD desktop. That means now you are on your desktop, and whatever you create now will be saved on your desktop. Okay, and to open a file, we use command. The command is type anywhere greater than, and after that we write whatever the file we wish to make. So for now we want to make an HTML file, and the extension will be .html, and let's give it a proper name. Let's call it web design. So we are going to write web design .html, and see, we got a file right here, and the file is having the logo of your favorite web browser, and my favorite web browser is always Google Chrome, and I believe in 2021 you guys are using Google Chrome. So I hope all of you guys who is actually coding along with me will get to see that on your desktop. And first of all, professional web developers use modern editors, and my favorite modern editor is VS Code. But as you guys are actually following this tutorial to ace your ICT exam in intermediate level, you guys will be using your regular text files to write HTML code. So for that particular reason, let me open this webdesign.html file with text editor or with Notepad. whatsoever. So in this demo, my goal is to show you how HTML, CSS and JavaScript work together to give us a beautiful web page. That means in this part of the tutorial, I'm going to show you how HTML, CSS and JavaScript actually work and what is their roles and stuffs. Okay, so for that I am opening a HTML file, and in HTML, unlike other programming languages, we use tags to get things done. Okay, so in majority of cases you guys will get an opening and a closing tag, just like this. Okay, an opening and a closing tag. So I'll walk you through every aspect of HTML eventually. Just for now, let's write here head and head. Whatever you put inside these two head tags, the opening and closing head tags, are meant for the browser. That means they actually tell the browser what kind of character sets we are going to use, and also they tell the browser about some SEO or search engine optimization stuffs and so, which are not actually important for you guys. But one thing is important: in the head tag we put title. Okay, and whatever you write inside title, like we can write my first HTML page, and if you guys go ahead and save it, then whenever you open this file, you will see this browser, that browser page with your title right here. Okay, so we'll get to see whatever you put on this title text. Okay, so here is my first HTML page, and let's see here my first HTML page has been written on two tags, and I have already said one is opening tag and another is ending tag or closing tag, and we put stuffs in between them. So this total line, that means starting from this opening tag followed by whatever you put in between them and then the closing tag, that entire thing is called an HTML element. So HTML element is this opening and closing tag with whatever we put in between them, done with head. After that, so this is actually one portion. Okay, this is actually one portion of our HTML file, head, and after that we put here body, also within an opening and a closing tag, and whatever we put inside body actually gets rendered on your web page and you guys get to see it. So for now I think I should put them side by side, and guys, for the later part of this tutorial I am going to use VS Code. So for now just see how things actually go in web design, and by web design here I mean in giving structure in HTML. So my target is to like give a button on this web page, and so for that first we, in the body tags, we will use another opening and ending tag called button. So button, and go ahead and write click me in between them, save it, and you will, if you refresh this page, you will get to see a button here, that is click me, that is your button. So this actually what HTML does for you. HTML gives the bare bone skeleton or the structure of your web page. Now what does CSS do? CSS gives styling to your web page, and there are actually three ways to put CSS or to associate CSS to your web page. Unfortunately this is not a CSS tutorial, so I am just giving you a demonstration of how CSS works, and for this particular purpose I am actually using a style tag, and you do it in your head section. So opening and closing style tags, and here like for example I want this web page to be a different color. Let's say I want this web page to be red or crimson. We do it like this: body followed by curly bracket. We are going to write background color crimson, go ahead and save it and refresh your browser page. See, now the entire body has turned crimson. So this is called CSS. CSS actually deals with the styling, with the color, with the typography and many things to make it more presentable. And without CSS, HTML just an ugly skeleton, nothing else. So if you want to be a web designer after HTML, you need to learn CSS, but CSS is not our concern here. So for the later part of this particular demonstration, I am going to show you what JavaScript does for us. As for example, for now, when we click on this button, nothing happens because there is no functionality on this web page, because there is no JavaScript. What does JavaScript do? JavaScript gives functionality to our web page. As for example, I want whenever I click on this button, something would happen, and JavaScript actually make this happen. The way we add JavaScript to our web page is we put script tag in our body section. Okay, so in our body section there is HTML code, and if you want to add JavaScript, you do it within script tag. Also, you can actually import JavaScript files in your HTML file, but that is not the concern of this particular video. For now, just know I am going to do it using script tag. So whatever you write within these script tags actually considered to be JavaScript rules. Okay, so now for now I want to do something whenever I click on this button. So for that we need to give this button an identity. That means I am just giving this button a name, and let's call it BTN. This is actually how we give identity to different HTML components. We write the word ID equal, within quotation we write the name we want to give this particular HTML element. So here this button is called BTN. Okay, and we want whenever we click on this button, this is called onClick, which is actually a JavaScript event function. For now, just know this is something that will make something happen whenever you click on this button. And what will it materialize? It will materialize something called my function. So what is function? You guys will get to learn it in your programming language chapter. So for now, just know function is kind of an agent. Like whenever you employ an agent to do something for you, what do? First you like employ him, then you educate him, then you like instruct him to do the job you want him to do, right? So function is kind of this. That means function does steps for us. What steps? The steps we teach it or we instruct it. So it is our time to instruct our agent or function, which is called my function. The way we do it is in script tag we write function followed by the name of the function, and here whatever I am going to write now is totally self-explanatory. I am going to write document dot get element by ID, and what element we are going to call? We are going to call this button, which is given the ID BTN. Then we are going to write, as I said, this is totally self-explanatory, right? So inner HTML equal to, so let's say the text is clicked, so clicked, and it will end with a semicolon. Okay, so I just have made one typo, function, Next I'm going to save this file, give it a refresh, and whenever we click, boom, the text on this button just has changed. And that actually what JavaScript does for us. It gives functionality, it deals with the behavior of our web page. So in this demonstration we have learned what HTML, CSS and JavaScript separately does to our web page. And as I have already said, our main goal here is to learn HTML. So in the next section we'll go ahead and start learning HTML. And for the next section I am going to use VS Code, which is actually a modern and free code editor. You guys can go ahead, search it in your web browser, download it and start using it. There is a huge chance that you guys are going to use this notepad thing in your lab, but I will suggest you, as for this particular chapter our goal is not only confined to making good grades, we are here to learn real life stuffs. I would like to recommend you using VS Code while you guys are going to code along with me. So I am going to see you guys within a few seconds.